When you think of jail, you probably think of a tough, scary guy or girl who committed a crime and is now having to pay for that crime. You probably don't think of a bear behind bars. Hi, my name is Sylvia, and today I'll be talking to you about polar bear jail. Polar bears are now being saved in the town of Churchill thanks to polar bear jail. Polar bear jail is allowing residents to report a bear if they see one. The polar bear is then taken to rehabilitation, and after rehabilitation, they are safely transported to an environment far away from people where they can live happily away from people instead of being shot down like before. In the next few minutes, I will be talking about what polar bear gel is and how this method is saving bears. Now let's start off and talk about what polar bear gel is. Polar bear gel is a rehabilitation center in the town of Churchill, Canada, where the number of polar bears outnumbers the number of people, according to Beermont. Polar bears go to polar bear jail if they are either too close to the town border or if they go into the town instead of hunting seals for food. The reason that they enter rehabilitation is to prevent both the death of humans and of polar bears. Polar bear attacks are now rare, and there have only been a few reportings since the Polar Bear Hotline started in 1983, according to Beermont. Polar bears are either scared off with air horns if they are near the border, or if they are too close, they are tranquilized and transported safely to jail. Now, like I said, this only happens if polar bears are either too close to the border or if they enter a town, which ends up risking people's lives. In polar bear jail, polar bears are kept for 30 days without food and only snow for water. This is so that polar bears gain an unpleasant experience from jail and don't want to come back. After the 30 days, they are drugged and transported through helicopter far away from the town where they can live in peace, according to Leonard. According to the world's first foremost polar bear expert, Steve Armstrong, they're having to stay on ice longer because ice is melting during the summer longer and freezing up later in the wintertime. Now let's move on to how this is affecting polar bears. Polar bear jail is helping polar bears. Before there was polar bear jail, polar bears were just shot down and killed. Now people can call 674 polar bear and report 674 bear and report sightings of bears near the town so that the bear patrol can go get the bear before anyone is hurt, whether it be the bear or a human. If nothing is done, the world could lose 2/3 of the world's polar bear population in the next few years, says Armstrong. Bears are coming back less frequently after rehabilitation and living their life away from people, keeping both the town and polar bears safe. Bob Windsor, one of the world's first polar bear sheriffs, says that the number of polar bears that come back after rehabilitation is sustainably less. Polar bear gel is also helping polar bears get back to hunting since because of the melting snow, it is hard for them to get back on the ice. Okay. Now let's gather all this information that I have talked about polar bear jail and polar bears and connect it. Okay. Polar bear jail might seem like a odd thing, but it's a real thing that is essentially stopping the death of both people and polar bears from occurring. I have explained to you today how Polar Bear Jail is a rehabilitation center for bears that is helping them go back to hunting and is optimally saving bears by returning them to their habitat. Polar Bear Jail can possibly save a bear and ultimately also save human lives.